What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 5. This is the reunion, episode 1. And before I get started, for those who are new to my channel, I do recaps and reviews of reality shows. I give a detailed breakdown. I may not hit every single scene, but I may pick up some details that you may have not have seen. And as you saw in my introduction, I am YouTube's number one commenter. So I'm really all about the comments. But forgive me for everybody. I don't want to be rude. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody had a safe and happy holiday, New Year's, and all that kind of stuff. We here. We on a new day, and yeah. So this for the new year. I'm not truly about the likes, but I think I need them. Why? Because I need that content to push out further and further. Like, comment, share the video, all that good stuff that other people say. Because I want this to get out to as many people as possible. But really for the comments, because I've had an absence, I feel like I've taken a hit as far as like people responding to the videos, and this is all about the people, our channel. So I need those comments. So let's go ahead and get started with the review. So the reunion pretty much starts off with Carlos King. He's greeting everyone, all the cast members in their room individually. You know, it's like a little fun shade or what have you being thrown around by the cast members. You know, little shots fired, and it's like, it's laughable, but you could tell they set the stage to what is actually coming. You know, I was really actually excited for this reunion because I don't recall what season it was, because the way Love and Marriage Huntsville, they take breaks in their season. I don't know if it was last year, but Carlos King did really well on a particular reunion. It was like legendary. Like people would suggest that Andy Cohen take notes and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I was really looking forward to hoping that this would be just as good or even better. But I don't know. But as far as the look of everybody looked great. Everybody was well dressed. The ladies looked wonderful, and especially Kimmy. I don't know if you call it, let's say, a cliche, or I'm thinking like Kimmy's coming off chemo. I'm expecting her to be like kind of sick or frail or weak. I don't know. Kimmy looked like she was living her best life. Like, you want to get chemo after you see that, but no, that's no joke. Cancer is a mother. But Kimmy had like a lingerie type situation going on, like with a cape. Looked like she aging backwards or whatever. And I really give her credit for just being in that moment, being able to look well. I can't really give Tisha the credit. Why? Because I have like a little personal thing with the mommy makeover. It sounds like something you get after you have a baby or whatever. I personally don't believe that women of our culture should be pushing that narrative when that's the like one of the most dangerous surgeries in the whole wide world. I'm about health and people living and loving themselves. It's really not my business what you do with your body, but when you talk about women dying and trying to save on the surgeries. But I don't want to get too deep on that. But that's my point of view. Y'all come here for my point of view anyway. So during the reunion, you could see I really picked up quick that Melody was like bothered about something, and it showed like in her lack of facial expressions or participations within the group, and it proved to be true. She was heated about Maurice making a statement when Kimmy was asked a question in an interview about her and Kimmy not having a friendship or a real friendship. And Melody took the words straight out of my mouth because I was writing it down while Maurice was talking and saying that, he doing his Martin Luther King speech, and that's exactly what came out of Mel's mouth. Maurice is, he gets to talking about like Martin Luther King Jr. And that irritates me as well. Maurice and Marcel, they love to come out like so self-righteous, so much wisdom, when they both snakes in the grass, one and the same. And it is very irritating to me. Actually, I despise Maurice the most because he acts like a good guy. That's the thing. Marceau enjoys being a bad guy. So it comes out that Maurice pretty much said that like, hey, Mel ain't Kimmy real friend. And why Mel was pissed, she was just saying like, hey, the man was really out of line. That was Kimmy's question. Two, he don't really know how me and Kimmy really get down. And Mel came off offended, like, because she's been a part of, I guess, Kimmy's village, where she assists Kimmy, whatever she needs, giving references, information, any kind of help that you would. And that would feel like a slap in the face if somebody is really helping you in need. That's a true friend. Some people use the term friend very lightly. And that's the thing. People learn who their real friends are in life. Like, when you really need something, who can you really call on? Who wants to be there and show up for you? So I get it why Mel, she was really pissed. And so they got off of that or whatever. Kimmy tried to defend Maurice in this situation without pissing Mel off. She did the best she could, pretty much saying, like, Mel, you kind of said the same thing. Like, y'all not friends like that, or going, it's just said in a different way. But I get it why Mel didn't like what Maurice said. But, Kimmy's a Scottford wife, so we're going to, Stepford wife or whatever. So we're going to move on from that. But what I'm so glad that Carlos King addressed something that I've always been bothered about the Never Never Land Ranch, a.k.a. Chateau Charade 2.0, a.k.a. Scott Manor, that's never been built. I personally watched the show and I get feelings about it. I'm looking at Marceau got his whole family in a little split duplex, split level thing right across the street from a gas station, but you got $200,000 worth of cars. It's ridiculous to me. You can live how you want to live, but you wouldn't have $200,000 worth of cars and your house costs $93,000. It don't make sense. Yeah, rental property or not, like, come on now. Come on now. You moved out of townhouse into a little small house, and it's taking you 4 years to break ground on a family estate that you promised that, when about time they get built, the kids going to be graduating from high school or going to college. And, Tisha's huge, massive Disneyland playground that she planned for the estate is going to be useless. Maybe not useless. Maybe they can use that playground for Marceau's side kids, when they growing up, because they're a lot younger than their current kids. But anyway, it comes off real fake and phony. And, I don't like fake and phony. I get that reality TV is scripted, but we do want some of the real. We want some real things of the people. You ain't got to fake with us. You ain't got to lie to kick it. We want the real. So, just watching the whole group. I'm going to say again, I say this term all the time. With friends like Martel and the Scotts, like, who needs enemies? You share space, fellowship, vacation, go over people's houses, and they be quick to, like, kind of reveal your secrets or throw shade at you. And it kind of kicked off when Tisha started talking about Marceau going to Africa. And Martel's right there insinuating, like, nitpicking with Tisha talking. So I'm like, oh, well, is that the real reason he went to Africa? And Tisha was like, well, he wasn't at the gym. So, she threw shots back at Martel. And it actually looked like it hit Mel a little bit, even though they're divorced, but still. Tisha can't stand Melody. They can't stand each other, actually. But when I really hear Tisha's, like, prep explanation about Marceau his reason going to Africa, I just think it's really sad that Marceau has his hand up Tisha's back so hard, like he's the puppeteer. He's feeding her answers. He's brainwashing her, which probably ain't hard to do. She may be educated, but it's the difference of having common sense and all that. So Tisha pretty much says nobody has proof of Marceau cheating or whatever. So, she kind of contradicts herself. They never had no type of allegations or nothing like that. But she was at Black crying outside while he was doing his shift, about what's going on with Atlanta or whatever, and dealing with the picture of the back, him being in a hotel. And even Carlos King kind of checked in with Tisha saying, like, well, you don't feel nothing when you found out the explanation with Chris Fletcher? Because remember, Marceau told Tisha he was in Atlanta and he had dinner with Chris Fletcher. That was a lie. There's no way of getting around it. Chris Fletcher said, hey, I showed this man a property in Atlanta for 2 hours, and I was done. I was with my wife. So all these hours he missed in the night he spent, he had dinner. They ain't had no kind of dinner. They ain't hang out. They didn't check into no hotel together. None of that stuff. But, when I hear that, you have to. You have to just let a woman like Tisha be. You got to let her be. You got to let her be. Hey, she ain't leaving her husband because of cheating. That's her right. She can say, hey, I'm sticking to my vows. For better, for worse, rich or poor, whatever happened. She said, I ain't leaving. I took my vows seriously or whatever. And that's okay. We got to accept that. But she ain't saying that. She playing like she naive and dumb and she hiding her head in the sand. But I'm just going to let her be stupid. So, okay. Bottom line to me, Carlos really didn't do a great job at kind of getting to the truth or refereeing the arguments or whatever. Because, at one point I thought Mel had something really good to say, but Marceau was over talking her, and Carlos King didn't even jump in there because it was like, when somebody's kind of bringing out proof or some receipts or details on Marceau's situation, he wants to shut you down. He wants to overtalk you. He wants to talk about the sun, moon, and the stars and all that. So Carlos King brought up, about some more allegations that that Maurice was having sex parties at his Credit One place. And, Kimmy started kind of sound like Tisha. Was like, well, they hang out there until, 3 a.m. and they play music and eat chips and guac or whatever. And, even Martel, like, whatever, like, I was there and all that. But the crazy part is Kimmy put Marceau there because he act like, we're going to need to find out who's saying that or who's throwing that. She's like, you ain't got to do all that because you was there. Well, I can say Marceau wasn't there the whole time or a lot of times. I'm like, this is a mess. They even telling on themselves. So it's just a mess. So pretty much the show kind of wraps up with a surprise guest. Who's that surprise guest? It's Tisha's traitor cousin Kiki. And they're trying to get to the bottom of like whether Kiki is genuinely Mel's friend. Mel say, hey, I knew Kiki before Tisha or what have you. And they do that back and forth thing. And they show even the clips where Kiki was getting into arguments with Marceau and Tisha about like information she knew, and Marceau like, go ahead, blow it up. You better, all that kind of stuff. And I looked at that clip. I didn't realize her husband was in that scene. And he let that man talk to his wife like that. But, I can't remember the information, but I think they have something over them, like they lent them some money or something, and of course Kiki had a pill problem, but, I just don't respect that, money or not. But anyway, of course, Kiki knows Tisha's secrets. They were very close, what have you, but, as Carlos King put it perfectly, Kiki is a double agent. She plays both sides. She's Mel's confidant. She goes back and tells Tisha everything her and Mel sell for transparency. Why do you have to tell everything you talk about with one person to another person to show your loyalty? That's quite ridiculous. However, when asked about things that Kiki has reported back, she'll be like, I don't remember that. I don't remember saying that. I hate that. I just hate that. Like, own your stuff. You said it. You're lying. You're playing both sides. Let it go. And even Miss Wanda came out there. I don't know why. Maybe to defend Tisha if Kiki got too spicy for her. I don't know. So, one of the highlights of the show was like doing all those allegations about if Marceau is cheating. Tisha appeared to like break down. She had to leave the stage. It was so dramatic. Carlos King tried to stop her. She walked around him and came back with two of the ugliest puppets that was dressed up. And who those puppets were? There was a puppet of Kiki and a puppet of Mel. And it was actually funny. But it wasn't that funny because Maurice, he kind of broke up. He put 10 on 20. Like busting up. It was not that funny. But, he likes anything that don't have the heat on him because he's a liar. He's a deceiver. So pretty much that's where it ended. So we got controversy of whether Kiki knows information on Marceau cheating because nobody knows. Everybody knows. They just not saying. They tell everything and they tell nothing at the same time. So That's it for this review. Drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Something I missed, something you want to add. And I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it. Stay tuned for my review on what is it? The Best Man Final Chapters, Episode 3.